I've had the realization that I feel like I've just been letting my life pass me by. I feel like I've been in a very long winter period. I know that it's beneficial. I always get to this point where I'm like, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna get out there. And then it kind of just falls short, and I'm kind of just like, I'm tired. What I really want to do, be in a house, relax, not have to deal with the energies out there.
I don't know, y'all. It's just something about existing that's tiring as fuck. Constantly existing.
It's very exhausting outside. I feel like this has happened. This has been happening since like the pandemic. Before the pandemic, the girl was outside. Always outside. At the club, going to all the things, meeting all the people, just out and about outside. Very much an extrovert. Once the pandemic hit, we were just perpetually inside. And it kind of just didn't end for me when like things were back up and running. Yeah, I was going outside a bit, but then I was just really aware of just like the outside that I was going to. And I was like, I don't even really think I like it here. Like these spots that I frequented before, did I really enjoy being in these spaces? And then I had a chat with my friend and she was like, yeah, well, you just have to like curate the life that you want, like curate the places that you want to be in, curate the people that you want to be around. And I really had to take some time to really ponder about that, because it's like, didn't really like the places that I was in. The people were okay, but it's like, life is short. Do you want to be around people that are just okay? No, I want to be around people that are phenomenal, that I enjoy being around, that I look forward to being around. Then a couple of days ago, I did my like cleansing bath, and I was sitting in the bath like,
You know what I forget about myself sometimes? I'm young, I'm sexy, and I'm lit. Like, I don't know if it's Florida, if it's the weather, if it's like the water here, but like, I'm back on my bullshit. Like, look at these palm trees. I'm telling you.
that video came to mind, and it kept coming to my mind. And I was like, yeah, no, this is me. This is the energy that I need to have. Like, I am back. Like, I've regained a confidence that I kind of didn't have since I was like really young. I like the confidence that I have now. I'm very selective now with my energy, which is fun, which I enjoy. I only go outside for the things that I want to be outside for. Saying all that, I was like, okay, I want to do 3 things. I want to do one thing where it's like I completely step outside of my comfort zone. I do something that kind of scares me. So there's that. And then I do one thing that's within my comfort zone, but it's like really, really fun. Like I truly do enjoy it. And then I'm gonna do something that's like gaining a new experience, gaining a new skill. First thing I was gonna do was the thing that scared me. Found a speed dating thing online, and your girl went to that. And it was interesting. It was interesting. So I found it on Eventbrite. It was like $20. When I booked it, I was terrified. I had this like irrational fear that kind of didn't even really make sense, that, oh, am I gonna like hold good conversation? Do I even know how to have a conversation with people that I don't know? So there was that, and then I was like, am I gonna mess up? And then it's just like, what is there to mess up? You don't even know these people. You could tell these people that you're an astronaut and they would not know that that's not true. Like, in retrospect, all of these fears were they just didn't make sense. Like, after I got done with it, I was just like, of course I'm the best conversationalist you will ever meet. Like, I am interesting. Of course I know how to hold a conversation. Of course I am just like an amazing ball of energy, and y'all love my energy, and y'all think I'm amazing, and y'all love my fashion sense, because it's like, of course. You know, it's like, of course. It's that anxiety, man. Let me tell you something. Anxiety should be illegal. Like, you will just be sitting there thinking, and because there's a little fear surrounding your thinking or whatever you're dealing with, anxiety will come in and just be like,
no, that's true. What if this happens? And then what if that happens on top of this, and it'll be the worst thing ever. It is so scary. You should be afraid. You should literally just not go outside. You should just not go outside. It's okay.
And it's just like, what? And then after you do the thing that you were afraid of, or like you talk to a person and they give you a different perspective and you're like, okay, yeah, I was bugging out. Like, obviously, everything that I was thinking was super unhinged and was never going to happen. But it's like in that moment, it's terrifying. And of course, you think it's going to happen. Child, anxiety, you raggedy bitch. So raggedy. So raggedy. Because why would you do that? Why would you have me in a chokehold like that? So there was just like a lot of irrational fears that just didn't really make sense. But I met some cool people. They were the women that I met. I was like, y'all are interesting, and I like you guys, and I like talking to you guys. The men were... So basically, it took place at this bar in the city. We were outside. The women were seated. The men had to rotate. There were about like 8 women, 8 men. There were some really interesting people with interesting jobs. I met this person. He was a scientist. He was the most interesting person. He's in charge of his own science lab. And I completely forgot what type of science he does, but it's the real deal science. Like molecular, biometrics, Albert Einstein science, you know? So I was like, okay, this is interesting. Met an engineer. He's building a stadium. Those were the only interesting jobs. There was this one guy who was like a foodie. He was cool. There were some people that were holding my conversation, and I was like, wow, this is great. Like, wow, yes. Love talking. I love talking. So there was that, and then there were some duds. There was one guy who kept talking about my hair color. He was just like, so, what made you do that? And I was just like, because I wanted to do something different. He was like, interesting. And then we'd have a little bit more conversation, and then he'd be like, wow, so like when you did that, did you think like it was gonna, like, did you think that it was gonna come out good, or like what was the thought process? And I was just like, actually no, because anything that I do looks good, so why would I have that thought? And then there was a guy who said that I reminded him of the girl from The Bronx Tale.
You need to leave!
I beg your pardon?
And we all know why. And I asked him, that's interesting. What makes you say that? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, that was the longest 6 minutes of my life. That was the longest 6 minutes of my life. It felt like those 6 minutes were never going to end. With everybody else, I was like, you know, talking, and then we'd get cut off, and I'd be like, see you later. That was a good conversation. But with him, I was like, when would this end? But I went into that with no expectations. I honestly had fun. And I met some cool people, got some cool perspectives. There was like a happy hour on a rooftop, and you know I love me a good rooftop, so I was there, and I was looking cute. Would I do that again? Yes, I would do that again, but I would want to do it with some POCs. I need some POCs. I would like that very much. So, yeah, cute, fun. The next thing I want to do is indoor rock climbing, because I have a fear of heights, and your girl got vertigo, so I don't know how this is going to go, but I am ready to tackle this fear. I'm going to go to a film festival. That's my thing within my comfort zone that I really do enjoy. Your girl love a good film. Say all that to say, I really feel like I'm ready to go out, have new experiences, meet some people. There's literally nothing holding me back. I think before, I was like, oh, I'm not this, or I don't have that, or I'm not that. Like, it was just like excuses I'm making up in my head. But I finally feel like I transcended those. We're on the other side. I'm ready to get out there. A little bit. Baby steps.